Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Scrap Mechanic Survival Unleashed. We've had a pretty good Christmas break. I hope you guys have too. Relaxed, said hi to family or not, so hopefully you guys are staying home. But anyways, we are back at the factory, and I realized a pretty crucial mistake or oversight when I was making this. Actually, when I finished last episode, I realized that this drone only sucks in and pushes out on certain sides of the chest. So it only pushes out the beetroots and tomatoes when it's going through here on the left side. However, the way I set up the planters was that beetroots and tomatoes were on both sides. So this handled the beetroots and this handled the tomatoes, but they were on both sides of the chest. And I couldn't really think of a good way to fix that, except for now I'm going to have it that one side handles beetroots and tomatoes. So there will be maybe all tomatoes on these two plots, and then all beetroots on these two plots, and then all carrots on this two, and then all broccoli on these two. If that makes any sense. It does make sense to me, so I think that's how I'm going to do it. So we're going to have broccoli and whatnot on this side and beetroots and tomatoes on the left side. So we're just going to need to replace all these seeds and stuff, and then I need to change up the wiring a little bit too. But once we get that, we can get started on the next project. Okay, I think I've got it working. I'm not entirely sure yet. There might be some bugs to fix out, but we can, sure as heck try our best. All right, this guy should be planting broccoli on this side. And then, what is this? Tomatoes? No, beetroot on the right side. And I've recolor everything like so. And I've fixed some bugs. I added another connection up here to make sure it only shot on the proper side. I shouldn't have probably done that, but it's fine. And let me actually just take away this right here so we can get a full row. Those are fine. That one's done. It's been put away. So now we're going to be planting a full set right here, hopefully. We're just going to let that go and then hope for the best, really. Okay, nice. So now we have a system going. And what I haven't tested is actually the fact that it will actually turn off to the right place. I think I rewired things perfectly or properly, but we're not sure. We'll find out soon enough, I guess. Up next is going to be the modular implementation of a package sorting and storage system that will be super factory-like, if that makes sense. So this is going to be a pretty big project, and it'll probably take a little bit of small pieces at a time, but I think it'll be worth the system. If we come here and have a look at our control panel, this is the current output system, or I guess the packaging station, and these timers currently are what hold the car in place for its output and spitting out, spewing out, whatever you want to say, of the products. So we're going to move these up to around 15 seconds. I think it'll still be too short, but it's okay. What we want to do here is to keep track of what's being outputted and what is being shot out at the same time. So what we're going to have to do is add an extra little few bits of logic so that we can make sure the sorting system is nearly perfect. This is going to be very interesting because this is going to be based on timers alone, because sensors can't sense what the actual packages are, but I can probably figure out the timing of when the package comes out and what's being launched. So I just need to figure that out. These little logic gates right here are going to represent what is currently being, or hopefully estimated approximately being spit out from the packaging station right now. These will actually be logic bits that turn on and turn off depending on where the drone is. First thing I want to do is make sure that each output turns off the other's input. So when one goes high, the other ones will all go low. And that's actually pretty simple. We just have to connect these to the off switches of every other logic gate. Okay, next we're going to actually have to test this out probably manually. I don't want to have to deal with it using this whole system, so we're going to probably just set up a manual tester of a chest and a pipe, and we're going to just pump out fruits or vegetables, I guess this is the vegetable station, out as we please and see if we can get the system timer working. Starting with carrots, we're going to do a small experiment to see how and exactly when is the earliest we can send a package coming out of this system. So what we're going to do is actually just hook up a bunch of sensors around here to see what we can see. Right, we should fill this up, and hopefully if the package comes out, one of those things will get launched off. Okay, it looks like this guy, the bottom floor sensor, is what sensed it first. I don't know if this one actually saw it or not, so I believe this will be the one and the location for the sensor. Okay, cool. Good to know. So what I've built now is I guess an attempt at a catcher. We're going to see if we can at least catch a package pretty quickly. Maybe. Okay, that's not bad. So this right here is a decent height to catch it near its peak height, if that makes sense, when it's getting launched out of this packaging station. This sensor definitely sees it come out, so that's good. And here is where we are going to, I guess, attempt to catch the packages. We're going to need to figure out how to keep them right side up, though. That's going to be the priority. So now if we just let this go, I put net down on the bottom because that has the least friction. And that does keep, wow, that's actually, oh goodness, that's a lot of no friction at all. Maybe I need to work on that a little bit. Actually, I just thought of a new method, or not really new. I've actually used this method in the past, excuse me. And I think what I want to do is actually have a way to hold down the packages or keep the packages moving along a sort of pipeline. And I just want to make sure I have the perfect length of a pipeline so that we can keep these guys moving and how far along they can go. So from the looks of it, it looks like the right boundary is at the outermost. So the left boundary is probably like around here, I think. Maybe a little bit closer. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, just a little bit closer and we'll be good. Okay, now that it's done, I've got a preliminary path. This is the exact path that the dispenser here, I think it shoots it out like 99% of the time along this path. I think it should be 100, but you know, Scrap Mechanic, you know how that goes. But for the 99% of the time, it should spit the package out to around here. And this is where I want to set up my sorting initiator. Whoops. Okay, well, that's a good segue as anything. So instead of using the system that I used last time for the package, I guess, moving, because that's all I did, I just moved the packages from here to over there and then straight to the trader. What I'm doing now is actually going to make the packages drop into a sorting machine. This first iteration of the sorting machine won't be too complex, actually. I think it's going to be really simple. We're going to just put the packages on different tubes depending on which type they are, and that'll be either to the left, to the right, one up, or one down on the ground. And that'll be for the carrots, beetroots, tomatoes, and broccoli. I'm going to separate out carrots and beetroots. Well, let's just say, so as they come together, it'll be carrots first and broccoli. So let's just do carrots and broccoli on top of each other. So carrots will be at the top row, broccoli will be on the bottom row. That's how we're going to do that. All right, there's been a pretty substantial time skip as I figured it out, but I've got it. So this is going to be a prototype. I will probably cover it up because this looks pretty bad, but this is the most effective because net is so least amount of friction. It has only 3 friction. I know I can probably use glass. I think glass also has 3 friction. So I could use glass, but I think I'm going to keep it with net for now. But we can try and transfer over if we want to make it look a little bit better. I think glass actually might look a little bit better too. But for now, we're going to test out this initial sorting machine. We're going to pretend that the car has come up and given out some carrots, and this has been full. What we have here, actually, what I haven't hooked it up yet, but this little platform will slide out once it recognizes there's a package coming through, and that package is carrots. And once that gets through, there will be a sensor that will then shove it out that way and make it go to where it needs to go. And so we'll be having that. This will shove it, and then it'll be there, and it'll be all good. So that's how the carrots are going to be distinguished from the rest of the group. And then I'll work on these in a future episode. But for now, let's set up the automation of this part right here. First things first, this sensor is going to tell us when a block or anything is coming out. So we're going to actually attach it right directly to a logic gate right here. That'll be an AND gate. It's not super necessary, but I want it there just in case. And this is going to connect to, maybe I could have moved that AND gate over here. Actually, that's probably the better idea. So we're actually going to move an AND gate. Actually, we're going to shove it right there. We're going to actually color these. I think that's the better idea. We're going to color them a nice let's say dark purple or so. That will be connected to these sensors right there. And this sensor will be hooked up to the on switches of all of these filter, I guess, bits, as you can say. So these will start the filter. However, the filters will be cross-checked. Oh, I need to cross-check it first. Hold on a second. Whoops. We're going to put the cross-checkers actually back here as well, just to keep things a little bit more organized inside and have the messy logic on the outside, and we can cover it up with another layer of wall or something to make it look nearly spotless. But like I said before I messed up, we're going to have these go into an AND gate, which will cross-check which package is actually being sent out of the dispenser. And the way we know that is pretty simple. Where the car is what's being dispatched. So if we just touch, I believe it'll be this one, this AND gate, this AND gate as well to right here, this one to that top one, and this one to that top one. We now have a cross-check of sorts of which exact part is being dispensed out of, I think. I mean, I can't confirm, but I believe this is right. And so now we just have to connect them straight to the on switches so that we know exactly what is being used. All right, that should be all of those turned on. Now, if I actually bring up the car, we can maybe test it out. I'm not entirely sure if it'll actually do anything. And it does actually look like these have all grown, so we can actually maybe run a full-scale test on that at the end of this episode. We just filled up our car with carrots, and actually I'm going to have to turn on manually this bit right here so that we can pretend that the car has harvested the carrots. So now the car should stop at this carrot packaging station, the carrot dispenser, receiver, I don't know what to call it. So let's turn it on and come here. So now let's move this way. It looks like let's check it out real quick. A timer is on, that is on, and this is off. That's not good. What's going on there? Oh, all right, there's been a small change of plans. I think because of the timing and how it all works, it's not going to be perfect, or I guess what's the word? Consistent when it comes to knowing where this car is. So what we're gonna have to do is just assume that the car is out of place depending on what it has and where the car has been dropped off. So we're just gonna have to switch up this logic gate. We're gonna have to remove the cross check and just put it directly into the filtering system. So that way, if the car does end up at a spot and turns on one of these triggers right here, we can basically just turn on this output right here, and this output will connect directly to where that switch is hooked up, and that will turn on the, the pistons for the carrots. That's basically what I gotta do, and I think that's pretty much it. So now if I turn this on, run all the way back to the control panel. I probably should have made this closer, but I think it's fine. Run all the way back here. Now we can turn on the fact that it has carrots. Now that's there. Now it's saying that the filter is on. And now that the filter is on, that puts the carrots, the carrot package catcher thing is right here now. So now if it goes through, it comes out, and we are good to go. Perfect. Now the car should eventually, well, there's going to be more movement throughout for sure, but actually no, we can set that up real quickly, I think. So what we just did here is just put a sensor connected to a small delay timer, and we just put this timer connected to this OR gate right there, and that will basically just launch the package outwards as it should. And I've noticed there's been a small inconsistency here. There's something going on with these pistons and this turn angle thing to the point where it's not turning consistently. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. So I might need to go back to the drawing board to figure out this intersection right here, because this actually isn't as reliable as I thought it would be. All right, let's run a quick test. Not entirely sure if this is going to work properly, but we can sure hope that it will. So what's going to happen here is it's going to run through, come here, hit this intersection, go to the right, move straight, come here, harvest both these tomatoes and these carrots, That will then trigger the flag to make sure that this doesn't turn to the left. So it'll make it move straight on and then drop off the carrots, which is the thing I need to test right now. All right, it's coming through. It doesn't look like there will be too much. Yep, the chest fits underneath. The planter is fine. It makes the turn fine. It comes, it stops, starts harvesting. Good. Oh, it looks like there was a plant that was missed. That's not good. I think it was probably a watering issue. Okay, so now it's harvested all these carrots. Maybe? What in the world? Oh. It's full. That's why. Okay, got it. Got it. All right. So whenever this is full, which it really shouldn't be, let's just empty out a little bit. It basically has trouble, which makes sense. That makes complete sense. If it's full of broccoli and carrots, then it's going to have a hard time. We're also going to need to figure out a new watering system because we need to water these twice a day, basically, so that we can make sure that these grow fully. And that shouldn't be too hard. We can just put a small little automation that makes it go through and water but not plant. And yeah, that's really not that hard. Okay, so now it's passed through. It's passed on onto the I guess output section. These have now started to, I guess, farm again. So now they're planting, and I think there's something messed up there. Yeah, it's shooting stuff straight up into the air. So we're going to have to look into that a little bit. But for now, we're going to now look at this output section. And this, if we look at the control panel, I don't know if we're going to get there in time. It should recognize the fact that it does have carrots in it. Yes, it has carrots. Oh, it has all three, and just not what's it called? The green stuff, which is broccoli. So now as it comes along, it's now stopped. You guys can't see that pretty well, but yeah, you can. So it's now stopped. The package collector is now shot off its carrots package. This filter has started it, and now it's launched it off into this soon-to-be storage container with a crane and a loading dock. It'll be pretty good. I'm pretty excited for that. And here comes the second one. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. This is great. All right, so now we've started the sorting system. Next episode, we're going to finish for the rest of the sorting system and start, hopefully, the container storage so that we can have and keep track of our inventory and know what we want to send off. This is going to be pretty good. This operations will be super fun. I'm excited. I hope you guys are. But until then, I hope you guys have a great morning, afternoon, night, or evening, and I will see you next time.
Perfect.